All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into the character of Isildur.
Ooh, yeah.
He's a pivotal figure in the Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know him as the guy who didn't destroy the ring, right?
Right.
But we're going to uncover so much more to his story than just that one fateful decision.
Yeah.
We're going beyond the surface level.
Absolutely.
We've got some incredible sources. They really reveal a man of courage and conviction, but also a man ultimately consumed by the very power he sought to control.
Well, and that's the thing. His decision at Mount Doom, it wasn't just this isolated moment. It was the culmination of his whole life. A life really marked by both heroism and tragedy. And to fully grasp that decision, we have to go back, right?
Yeah, let's rewind.
Back to his roots.
Take us back. Our sources point to his roots in Númenor as absolutely crucial to understanding his later actions.
Oh, for sure. Númenor, this grand island kingdom, it was literally a gift from the gods to men. So, picture this. A society bathed in splendor, super advanced in knowledge and technology.
That's like paradise, right?
Right, but, every paradise has a shadow. And over generations, the Númenorians became consumed by pride and this yearning for immortality that was never meant for them.
The classic tragic flaw.
Exactly.
So it's in this setting, with his society kind of teetering on the edge of destruction, that we first meet Isildur. What's he like at this point?
Well, picture this. Sauron, in disguise, he's wormed his way into the Númenorian court.
Sneaky.
Right, and he convinces the king to defy the gods, to cut down Nimloth, the white tree of the kings.
Oh, wow. So this tree is a big deal.
Huge. It's a symbol of the connection between men and the divine. But a young Isildur, he sees through Sauron's deception. And at great personal risk, he steals a fruit from the tree before it's destroyed.
It's like a rebellious act, but also an act of preservation.
Exactly. And it foreshadows his later struggle with the ring. It shows his courage, but also this deep reverence for his heritage. And, it has massive consequences. That stolen fruit allows him to escape the downfall of Númenor with his father, Elendil. They carry the legacy of their lost homeland to Middle-earth.
Okay, so they land on the shores of Middle-earth, refugees bearing, the weight of a fallen kingdom, but also a seed of hope for the future. But their troubles aren't over, are they?
No, because Sauron also survived the destruction of Númenor, and he's setting his sights on conquering Middle-earth.
Wow.
So this leads to the War of the Last Alliance. Elves and men banding together against Sauron's forces. It's massive. A clash that will decide the fate of Middle-earth. And Isildur, right in the thick of it.
And he sees some serious action, I'd imagine.
Oh, yeah. He's fighting alongside his father, his brother. He experiences incredible loss. They both fall in the conflict. Imagine that grief. The weight of that responsibility is suddenly on his shoulders.
It's almost too much to bear. But in the midst of all this suffering, he achieves a seemingly impossible victory. He takes up the shards of his father's broken sword, and Narsil cuts the one ring from Sauron's hand. The Dark Lord's reign of terror is over.
It's legendary. Isildur stands triumphant, holding the ultimate weapon of power. But it's also the beginning of his downfall, right?
Right, and this is the big question. Why, after such a hard-fought victory, after everything he endured, didn't he destroy the ring when he had the chance?
Well, even Gandalf, as wise as he was, he said that Isildur was but a man when he faced that ring's allure.
He was just a man.
Yeah, he was a man. And he claimed the ring as Weregild, compensation for his family's suffering. Seems like a straightforward explanation. But the more you look at
It's way more complicated than that.
Right. Think about the war's toll on him. The grief for his father and brother suddenly becoming king. And remember, he wasn't just a warrior. He was responsible for his people's future. And in that vulnerable moment, the ring whispers promises of power, of control, maybe even a way to restore what he'd lost.
So it wasn't just greed. It was grief. It was responsibility.
Yeah.
The ring twisted all of it. Makes you wonder, would any of us, facing that kind of pressure, that kind of temptation, have made a different choice?
That's Tolkien, right. He doesn't make Isildur a villain. He's a flawed hero, a man battling forces beyond his understanding. And that's the heart of his story. How one decision, one moment of weakness shapes the fate of Middle-earth for generations to come.
And that is an incredible cliffhanger. We'll be back to explore those consequences in part 2 of our deep dive. It's easy to focus on that moment at Mount Doom.
Right.
But going deeper into the sources,
Yeah.
Isildur's story is more than just the ring.
Oh, absolutely.
There's another side to him.
Right.
We need to look at that.
Yeah, he was a complex guy.
Yeah.
Not just a warrior or a king.
Right.
but a father
Okay.
devoted to his 4 sons.
Interesting.
And this part of his life often gets overshadowed
I can see it.
by the whole ring narrative.
Right.
But it's important. It adds nuance.
To his motivations.
Yeah, to his struggles.
Okay, so even while he's dealing with the ring's influence,
Mhm.
he's still dealing with family and leadership.
Exactly. The sources actually describe him as a really caring father,
Oh, wow.
striving to protect his family.
Makes sense.
Make sure they're safe in this world that's kind of falling apart.
Yeah.
And remember, he called the ring Weirgild.
Right.
Compensation for his family's suffering?
Yeah.
Might seem messed up to us,
It does.
but it shows how deeply he loved them.
Yeah.
He saw the ring.
As a way to protect them.
Yeah, in a twisted way.
A twisted way.
To safeguard their future.
So it makes his downfall even more tragic.
Right.
He wasn't just power hungry.
No.
He wanted to protect his family.
He did.
And the ring just took advantage of that.
Absolutely. It twisted his good intentions.
Yeah.
And honestly, it makes him relatable.
How so?
Haven't we all made choices we thought were good,
Yeah.
only to realize later they weren't so great?
Totally.
Isildur's story reminds us.
That good intentions aren't enough.
Right. Especially when dealing with grief and loss.
And what about leadership?
Ooh, good point.
He became king
Yeah.
under the worst possible circumstances.
Seriously, rebuilding a civilization while carrying the ring
That's intense.
must have been a huge burden.
It must have been.
Think about it.
Well,
All those conflicting desires,
like what?
providing for his people,
Okay.
securing his son's future,
Yeah.
but also knowing the ring is corrupting him.
So it's a battle on two fronts.
Exactly.
External threats and the ring.
That's Isildur's story.
And it's Tolkien's genius.
Yeah.
He could have made Isildur a villain,
Right.
but he made him tragic.
He did. A good man who makes a bad choice.
That's powerful.
And Tolkien was really influenced by his faith,
Oh, yeah.
Catholicism.
Okay.
He believed in free will,
Right.
the struggle between good and evil.
And Isildur embodies that.
Totally. He shows us that even good people
Can be tempted.
and fall.
So it's deeper than just good versus evil.
Way deeper.
It makes us think about ourselves.
Yeah.
Our own capacity for good and bad.
Right.
And how grief and trauma
Yeah.
can mess with our judgment.
It's a powerful message.
It is. And it makes you wonder,
What if?
what if Isildur had destroyed the ring?
Right at Mount Doom?
Would Middle-earth be different?
Totally.
Would it be peaceful and prosperous?
Maybe. Or would some other evil have risen up?
It's a question Tolkien wants us to ask.
He does.
It shows how complex his world is.
It does. Even small choices have big consequences.
That's what makes Tolkien so interesting.
For sure.
So Isildur failing to destroy the ring,
Uh-huh.
it sets things in motion
It does.
that lead to Frodo,
Right.
but it also leads to Aragorn,
His descendant.
the one who succeeds where Isildur failed.
Exactly. It adds another layer to the story.
What do you mean?
It's not just about failure and redemption.
Right.
It's about legacy.
The legacy we inherit
Yes. The burdens we carry.
and learning from the past.
To create a better future.
I like that.
Isildur messed up,
He did.
but his line redeemed him.
So even in failure,
Yeah.
his story is woven into Middle-earth.
It is.
He's not just a warning.
No.
He's a catalyst,
Jesus.
a flawed figure
A crucial.
who sets the stage for both darkness
Yeah.
and eventual triumph. Wow, what a journey.
It is.
From Númenor to Mount Doom.
Yeah.
We've seen it all.
Triumphs and tragedy.
But you know what gets me?
What's that?
Tolkien's storytelling.
Oh, yeah.
It's brilliant.
It really is. He weaves these epic events with
Yeah.
these personal moments.
Yeah, like Isildur isn't just a name.
He's a real person,
Right.
making impossible choices.
Driven by love and grief.
Exactly.
And his actions have consequences
they do.
for generations to come.
For sure.
Even small decisions
Yeah.
can change everything.
That's Tolkien for you.
It's like everything's connected.
It is?
The past shapes the present.
Absolutely.
It's like that line from Fellowship.
Which one?
The ripples of the past make waves in the present.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Isildur's failure with the ring. It starts this chain reaction
Yeah.
that leads to Frodo,
And the War of the Ring.
everything in the Third Age.
It all goes back to Isildur.
But what if we looked at it differently?
How so?
Not just a cautionary tale,
Okay.
but a step towards redemption.
Interesting.
So Isildur didn't just stumble
He paved the way.
for Sauron's defeat,
Yeah, unintentionally.
but still.
It's like a relay race.
Okay, I like that.
Each generation passes the torch,
Carrying the weight of the past.
but striving for a better future.
So Isildur's failure
Yeah.
doesn't erase his heroism.
It doesn't.
This shows the path to victory.
And that victory comes through Aragorn.
His descendant.
It's powerful.
It is.
We're all shaped by the past.
The good and the bad.
But we can learn from it.
Build on the triumphs.
And make our own path.
Isildur may have faltered.
But his line redeemed him.
As we wrap up, what's the big takeaway?
For me, it's that history is complicated.
Okay.
It's messy.
Full of contradiction.
And it's made by flawed people.
Like Isildur.
Exactly.
But in those flaws.
We see humanity.
Yeah.
Courage.
Wow.
That even in darkness, light can win.
I love that. And it shows why Tolkien is so great.
He really is.
It's not just battles and magic.
It's about us.
Our choices.
Our hope.
Isildur's story reminds us
That even in failure,
there's potential
growth
and a legacy
that overcomes darkness.
Beautifully said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Isildur.
It's been a pleasure.
Keep exploring Middle-earth,
There's always more to discover.
and we'll see you next time.